Welcome to Confident English. This channel is more than just about grammar and vocabulary. It's a space where we grow courage, reclaim our voice, and learn how to believe in ourselves again. If you've ever felt lost in your own journey, overwhelmed by expectations, or discouraged by slow progress, then you're in the right place. Because here we don't strive for perfection. We strive for growth, for resilience, and for the quiet bravery it takes to keep going. And today, I want to share with you a story that begins with something so simple, yet so powerful. Just 5 minutes. There was a time not long ago when my world felt heavy, like I was walking through fog every single day. I had goals that once lit a fire in me, but somewhere along the way, life dimmed that spark. I had dreams of becoming fluent in English, of traveling, of speaking in front of others without trembling, but every attempt seemed to end in disappointment. I kept starting things, language apps, YouTube lessons, vocabulary notebooks, but never seemed to follow through. I thought maybe I was lazy, or maybe just not cut out for success. That thought haunted me. I'd wake up with a knot in my stomach, already feeling like I had failed before the day even began. My self-talk was filled with, I can't, I never finish anything, I'm always behind. I smiled in front of people, but inside, I was stuck in a loop of guilt and hopelessness. The worst part wasn't that I wasn't fluent. It was that I didn't believe I ever could be. I thought maybe confidence belonged to others, to people who had more discipline, more time, more talent. Not me. But everything began to shift the day I heard someone say, "You don't need an hour. You don't need a full routine. You just need 5 minutes. Start with 5. I didn't believe it at first. How could 5 minutes change anything? How could 5 minutes compete with the weight of years of self-doubt? But I was tired of giving up. Tired of breaking promises to myself. So the next morning, I gave myself one simple promise. 5 minutes of stillness. I sat on the floor, closed my eyes, and just let myself breathe. It felt strange. I wasn't productive. I wasn't doing anything flashy. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't rush to fix or change myself. I just let myself be. The next day, I wrote a few words in a notebook. How I felt, what I was scared of, what I hoped for. It wasn't neat or organized. Just honest. 5 minutes. That was all. Soon, I began to use those 5 minutes to speak English out loud, even if it was just reading subtitles from a show I loved. I spoke to myself in the mirror, whispering sentences, mimicking accents, laughing when I got it wrong. At first it felt silly. But slowly, I noticed something unexpected. I was showing up. Consistently. Gently. Without pressure. And in that rhythm, something inside me softened. The voice that once said, "You're a failure," started to say, "You tried today, and that's something." As days passed, those 5 minutes became my anchor. I protected them like sacred time. No matter how busy, no matter how tired, I showed up. I'd practice describing my day in English. I'd listen to one short podcast and shadow the speaker. I'd repeat just 5 useful phrases with emotion, imagining real conversations. I wasn't trying to become perfect. I just wanted to feel real progress, to build trust with myself again. And as strange as it sounds, that trust changed everything. I began to see myself not as someone who quits, but as someone who keeps showing up, even when it's hard. I started setting my alarm 10 minutes earlier. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I looked forward to that quiet moment before the world woke up, when it was just me and my breath and my voice. Sometimes, 5 minutes turned into 15, then 20. But even when it didn't, I didn't shame myself. 5 minutes was always enough. Then something magical happened. I began to feel different. Not just in my English but in the way I walked, the way I thought. I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped needing applause. I felt proud, quietly proud, because I knew what it took to keep going. I was building something invisible but strong. A new version of me. I realized that change doesn't come from huge leaps. It comes from quiet, consistent steps, taken with love. I had spent so many years waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect teacher, the perfect moment. But it never came. What came was 5 minutes. And those 5 minutes showed me that I was never broken. I was just tired. I didn't need to change who I was. I just needed to believe that small things count. That beginnings don't have to be loud. That transformation doesn't shout. It whispers. So if you're listening to this and wondering whether 5 minutes can really change your life, I'm here to tell you, it can. Because 5 minutes is enough to remind yourself that you're worthy of trying. That your voice matters. That you're not behind. You're on your way. 5 minutes is not just time. It's a signal. A signal to your soul that you're worth investing in. No one else has to see it. No one else has to cheer you on. Just you. Showing up. Again and again. And I promise you, if you do that, one day you'll look back and realize, you didn't just learn a language. You rewrote the story of who you thought you were. Thank you for being part of Confident English. If this story reminded you of your own, I hope you'll stay. Because here, you don't have to be fluent to belong. You just have to keep showing up. One brave word, one honest breath, one small step at a time. Keep believing, and never let anyone, not even yourself, convince you that you're not capable of change. You are. And it might just begin with 5 minutes today.